we were hoping for or expecting today, nothing there, but we're going to go ahead and proceed. Whoever missed it, well, I'm sorry they missed it.
We did have a couple of last minute cancellations too.
Okay.
Hush! Hush!
Okay, anyway.
I need to move them onto the other side because it's...
Sorry, everybody, there's no real speech here needed or anything. Most everybody here knows what Sons of Liberty is. So we really don't have to get out much of a description. So without further ado, let's go ahead and Mr. Collins, it's yours.
Okay, guys, my whole objective here is to talk about how small groups are successful and what small groups do to create success in large situations and large organizations. So the best example I thought of, and I actually put a detailed thought into this because I'm very military driven, a lot of historical things that I go through. So we're going to have a little fun here. Just going to break this up. You guys are all on one team, you guys are all on another team, so this table versus this table. You're in the middle of this great big battlefield. Things are going very well for this team and very poorly for this team because they outnumber you 10-1. Okay, so they're looking pretty good, all right? The only advantage you've got this little hillside you're setting up on, okay? And you're up there looking down on these guys. But you're the small team. You're the small team. So these guys are 10,000 strong, you're 1,000. So let's say for the sake of discussion, they attack your hillside. During the first attack, you hold them back. You have the advantage of the hillside. You have the advantage of the idea. You have the advantage of the concept. So the mass cannot attack the idea. Okay? So here's the idea. You held them off the first attack, but you spent a lot of ammunition because it was tough defending that idea. It was tough defending, and you can't fight the concept. But you lost a lot of ammunition, and you lost some people. So now you've only got 500 people. You've got 8,000 people. So you've got attrition on both sides because they can't make up their mind at that point whether or not the idea is good, the idea is bad, or how they're going to fight the idea or what they're going to do. So you attack again. We've got to attack that idea again. So your army rushes up the hillside to attack this idea, and they fire back down on you, and they hold you off. You defended your idea. It cost you, because now you're only down to about 100 people. True believers, you're down to like 6,000 because attrition happened again. Let me give you the bad news. You've expended all your ammunition on defending your idea. You've ran out of food. You've ran out of water. It's hot. It's sweaty. Everything's bearing down on you. They have fresh ammunition. They have fresh water. And they're in a position to strike again. So what you've got to make a decision to over here is whether or not the people that are with you need to be sacrificed for the idea, or you find a new way to present the idea. And what they've got to decide is if they can knock your idea off the top and generate their own idea and build on top of it. So here's the decision we got to make as a group, and especially small groups. Do you defend the idea from where you're at, or do you find a new way to do it? Do you attack the idea to change it over into a new idea, or since it's such a small group now, do you ignore that and go attack another idea? Now, let me relate this to history, and I'll tell you how a school teacher changed the course of the United States. Although I modified this for the purposes of the discussion, what I just talked about was the Battle of Gettysburg. And there was a school teacher by the name of Colonel Chamberlain. Well, he actually was a school teacher, but they put him in a unit, he trained his unit, and he came up through the ranks to colonel. He's a school teacher, a school marm. And this very battle that I talked about was his unit defending the line at Little Round Top. 10,000, 2 divisions come after him. He only had 350 men at the end, and no ammunition. But his decision to defend the idea, with no ammunition, no water, no food, short supplies, and obviously no reinforcements, knowing that if this army were to break through him, there's nothing between him and Washington, D.C. And he's got to think about the individuals that are commissioned to him, the lives. Are they all going to be lost? Should he surrender them and let them be prisoners so they can go home after the war? What should he do? So for those of you who know, what he did is he ordered his unit to fix bayonets. So they're up on this hillside, they only got 300 guys, limping, wounded, whatever. They got no ammunition. They fix bayonets, and before this group can charge up the hill again, these guys charge down the hill. Catch them completely by surprise. The Alabama 47th said, oh my gosh, they must have been reinforced. Everybody break up quick. Every man for himself. We'll regroup in the rear. So 350 guys, surprised basically 5,000 to 8,000 guys, took a lot of prisoners because it caught them off guard, and they didn't know what to do because they fixed bayonets and took their idea beyond where they should have taken the idea. So the importance of small groups is where that leads. Anytime you're in a small group and you're going against a larger organization, keep in mind what they're doing is you're challenging an idea, you're fighting an idea, you're presenting an idea, or you're presenting the concept of an idea. If you get to the point to where you have to make a decision to fix bayonets for your idea, look and measure what you have to gain or lose in that measurement. If there's an opportunity to take that small group and chose a different fight that will get you back to that same idea and ignore this battle, go around them, then you won't have to fix bayonets and go into them. The small groups are important because they're tactically efficient in political America these days. They move fast, they're hard to track, the press doesn't pay attention to them, so you're basically ghost. You're special forces. You go in, you strike, you do your surgical strike, you leave. You take your idea in, you sell your idea to the public, you leave. You do the same thing in small groups everywhere you go around the state of Georgia. It's much like running a campaign. You sell the idea. The efficiency of small groups. You don't have to worry about communications problems. You don't have to worry about, oh, did somebody not do this? Did somebody do this? All you have to worry about is presenting the idea. When the Tea Party was really small, they were very successful in presenting their ideas. When it got really big and joined the Republican Party, the ideas were all the same, so why have a Tea Party? So they found themselves as part of the establishment. Where you see growing now is the Liberty Republican movement. The Liberty Republican movement, very small movement, but they have their ideas. They have their position. As they get bigger, maybe they'll follow the same trend as the Tea Party, but right now, they're a small striking group that can do something with it. So I see that in the future as being the new small group that's going to come up and do something in the most conservative part of the United States that's actually going to strike somewhere else. So keep an eye on your small groups, use your strategies, fix your bayonets if you have to, but remember you're presenting an idea and defending an idea. By all means, questions or anything about the battle. I'm a historian of that one. I had lots of fun with it. Did I surprise you guys? Did you guys not know that was going to be Gettysburg? Yeah? You had the look. Were you ready to charge?
I didn't want to.
If he wasn't. Cool. Small groups. All right, now forgive me, guys. I have to take my guest from Los Angeles back to the wheels so she can get back to what she needs to be doing. So I have to excuse myself. Thank you very much for lunch.
Thanks for coming out.
Absolutely, glad to have you.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome anytime. Any of you.
Come by
Any meeting, anytime you want to come by.
Well, yeah, I go down to Tilt.